Hey guys, and happy Halloweenish time, depending on when you're watching this. I'm recording this before Halloween and should hopefully put it up before Halloween, but ooh, you know what things are like. Yeah. I decided to do some Halloween themed videos because this time of this year, would be 2012 if you watch this within the distant future, I actually have some themed stuff for Halloween, so I thought, well, why not have a look at the Lego Monster Fighter sets, because they're pretty good, just like the Lord of the Rings sets. And, you know, it's the perfect time of the year to do it. It's Halloweeny time. So I thought I'd do the three sets I have back to back in terms of what will be the next three reviews. So we'll start off with this one being the Zombies set, which is, of course, a store exclusive to Target in America, and I think here in the UK, Argos. So let's have a look straight at that one, shall we? So here's what you get with the Zombies Lego set. You get the car here, as it's called. Doesn't have a cool name, unfortunately. And you get the crypt or the mausoleum here, if you would. So it's pretty good in the fact that you get two little models to build, as well as a few minifigs, as you can see. Let's not drag this out too long, and let's get straight into the minifigs. So we start here with Jack Muckhammer, and you can tell he's a very hard man because he's got a hammer here to twat people in the head with. I think this is the Thor hammer actually, but I'm not entirely sure since I don't have it. He does have this really cool robot arm, which you can pull out this little part here and replace it with something else if you wish. So yeah. Here's an example of something else that you can put in. I've used the missile from the car, so you can go beep boo, or you can like fire it out like a rocket if you choose to, but you know, let's just put the hammer in there as well, so you can have a robotic hammer arm, which is always badass if you ask me. We'll just put his normal arm back in so he can hold stuff. The detail on this guy is quite nice. He's got some pretty cool jeans on with knee pads. He's got this little belt as well. Printing on the back as well, which is cool for his vest. No back head, of course, because the hat doesn't cover it. Yeah, and the hat only goes on kind of one way, otherwise it goes to this jaunty angle, I suppose. And he's a fairly grim-looking man with a lovely ginger beard. He's the kind of guy who would, like, beat you to death with your own limbs just because he's, you know, he's pissed off that day and he wants to see someone bleed other than himself. Next up, we have the groom, the zombie groom, I should say, who's looking very dapper for a zombie, of course. He does have a lovely top hat, which I love. I love putting on other dudes, because it's always fun to top hat people. Cool little zombie face. He's got really cool tattered robes. His pants don't have anything on. I do like the fact that the back print there, and he doesn't have a sleeve on his arm, which is cool. Let's have a look at that zombie face. It's kind of grim, but it's not grim enough to put children off. Which is probably the best, and you put his arms up and he can be total zombie-like and start like, I want to eat your brains, zombie. Talking about the groom, here's his bride, because, you know, grooms need a bride, usually. Oh, and that's one problem I have with the bride. She is easy to pull apart. Like, the hair does not clip on very well. It's nice-looking hair, as we plop that back on her. You see how easily it comes off her, though. It's kind of irritating. This is her legs, printed on the front there, which is nice, but nothing on the back, which is a real shame. Because this is, of course, meant to be her wedding dress, and it looks like a good tattered wedding dress. The legs do pop off a little bit too easily, perhaps, but what can you do? Yeah, the front print is quite nice as well. You know, she's looking all scuffed up, and the problem here is the back's done, but obviously the bottom part isn't done. It would have completed the look if they had. There's her face. You know, she's got lovely lipstick and a bloody eye, as you do. And of course she has her, oh no, I'm gonna be killed by a crazy, potentially Irish or Scottish man with a hammer. Ah! And then her hair pops off, which is always kind of a pain. But, you know, she can be a good-ass zombie as well, and we'll get her lovely groom here. There he is. And yeah, they look like a lovely couple and be happy together as they chew the brains of the innocent. And of course, you need someone to drive them away, so here's the zombie driver, who's had his third or fourth release, I think, at this point. I love his little glove there. I assume it's glove, otherwise he's put his hand in poop. I try not to judge, though, because he is a zombie, so accidents happen. And again, lovely tattered clothing.
He still looks quite dapper, though. You know, I wouldn't be averse to him driving me around. Nice little cut in his back. A nice little driver's hat again, and a very slightly different head. He's more angry. He's an angry zombie driver, because, you know, old people are like that. You know, they get angry on the roads, with other drivers being all living and whatnot, and showing off their pink flesh, or yellow flesh, as Lego would have it. So it's not a bad little set of minifigs, I would say. But let's get on to the meat and bones, if you would, of the video here, and start looking at, say, the car first. And we'll put Mr. Jackhammer, or Mr. McHammer, next to his car, because it's his. And the car itself has quite a cool, if not stupid, design to it. And what I mean by this is it has this really cool, old school look to it, but then it's got all this kind of steampunky elements with giant hammers on the side. It's cool, though, on the back. It has a little place where you can put people on, to pretend, I guess, maybe they're firing the missiles off or something like that. Overall, the engine and the front of this car are very impressive. I really like the train look, so it can just like smash through some zombies. Overall, very cool look, if not silly. So let's have a look at the features of this little car, and first let's get the little driver here. And to get him in, we pop the top off here, which is actually fairly easy, as you saw. You plop the driver in, and just pop this back on the top with lots of P's. Oh, one problem is these can come off a little bit too easily, but they snap on easy enough as well. And of course the feature is you drive this along and whee, look at his hammers go. Actually, yeah, just like that, spin round and round and knock down zombies and whatnot. So you can just, you know, smash them and kill them with the hammers. And the other thing he has in his arsenal here are these flick missiles, which I really dislike. We give it a flick, and that's one problem right there. These spin around, and I actually got one out. But a lot of the time, you'll either flick it off or just flick it so it spins round and round, which is a real pain, because it's only stuck on by these two little studs, so there's really no holding it down, really. So this is the worst example of a flick missile I've had so far. I really dislike it. The best thing you can do is just pull them off and throw them. It'll be much simpler. And we'll move on to the crypt here, and it's got a really cool design, and it's got this little spider here, which I'll pull off. It does glow in the dark, but I'm not going to show you because I won't be able to get a good lighting, but trust me in the fact that this thing will glow in the dark, because it's that kind of white plastic. It's quite a nice little spider, and it can hold something in its mush, and of course it can just peg in anywhere that has a stud like that, and you know, you can twist him around, or whatever you desire. He is your spider. And it's got this little bat here as well, who can flip down on this little port, or peg, I suppose. And the bat's not too bad, not quite as awesome as the spider, but again, it adds that kind of, ooh, it's all haunty and evil and whatnot. So yeah, here is, of course, the Moonstone, or whatever it's called, and this one's the exclusive. I'll just put it in the zombie driver's hand so you can have a good look at it. This is exclusive to this set only, unfortunately. And it's got this really cool Lego arm popping out the ground because it's a zombie. It's really neat, actually. I think it's really stupid and fun. And I love the fact that they can hold it. That's really awesome. And of course, when you give this a twist, boom! Zombies appear. And yeah, it's a pretty cool little feature. I do appreciate it a lot. It does have some issues, though. You'll notice here that, I'll just put him in. I did take the groom's hat off. And there's a reason for this, because the hat is a little bit too big and the rim's a bit too big, so he can stand on there fine, but when you lower him down, it leaves kind of a big gap here. I mean, it does with the zombie driver as well, but this one's a lot more pronounced, unfortunately. So, if you want him in, you're going to have him without his hat on. So, there you go. And of course, the zombie bride, because of, you know, not having real legs and having crazy hair, she really can't go in. I'll just take her hair off, actually. She, like I say, she really cannot go in the tomb or the crypt, unfortunately. So, you know, you have to work with it and just go, well, they can't have a hat on, but they're a zombie. Here's, of course, the other feature, the big red lever in the back, because most tombs don't usually come with them, obviously. Now, we have the little pot here, a cauldron, because, you know, crypts totally have that, and, you know, you give it a whack with your finger and boom, all this crap will fly out and hit you in the mush. And what do you have in here? Well, apart from, obviously, the cauldron, you have a load of bones and just clear studs to make a soup-like effect. And I've thrown some other bits in there just to mess it around a bit. I've got some gems as well just to put it in there. Now to put it back, you remove the top here, which is real easy because it's super loose. Not in the bad way. I do like these parts as well. It's a very nice little roof piece. Weird to say, but it is. And you need to take it off because it's really faffy. Oh, you can also pull the tombs themselves off to make it a lot easier, and it also helps for the review, I'll be honest. So yeah, you can see right there is where the little poppy bit will do its stuff. I would prefer it to be a little bit bigger so it could like really heave the cauldron off, but you do what you can. And we've got some stained glass windows here in the back, which look really cool as I get the light. It's really nice kind of creepy effect. Obviously, you can't see it until the light goes there, but you can see it in daylight, and cool windows and details everywhere on this set. It's really neat. I love just the design of it, and people have put thought into putting this all together as I slap the roof back on. But like I mentioned, I really do like the aesthetic of this stuff as I fully put the stuff back together. I love the spire here at the top, or the pointy bits, I should say. I like the weeds coming out of it. The little torches on the side add to it. The little broken parts of the path. It's got this really nice gothic look to it. It looks creepy, as it should do. Even around the back and the sides here, you've got these kind of messed up, kind of bricky areas. It's not smooth. It's not pretty to look at. It just looks kind of messy, old and decaying. The windows, again, really cool little kind of, oh god, these are some creepy ass windows. I really do think that overall it looks fantastic. So in conclusion, I think the zombie set is really cool. You get an awesome building, a silly car that is very fun, if not, as I mentioned, silly. 4 minifigures, 3 of which are zombies, and zombies are badass in my opinion. And these things are all really fun to put together in my opinion. You will have fun building this stuff, or at least I did, and I think if you like putting Lego together, you will more than likely have a good time putting this together yourselves. So I would obviously totally recommend people go out and get this set. You should consider that it is an exclusive, I think in the UK only to Argos, but I'm not sure. And in America, I think it's an exclusive only to Target. But like I say, take that with a grain of salt. If you're interested in it, go and look for yourself, just to double check. Don't take my word for it by any means. But of course, next we will be having a look at some more LEGO Monster Fighter stuff in this time of Halloweeny. So I will catch you next time, people, for some more dark and sinister action with, well, LEGO.